What's up, everybody? It's M-Carp, aka Mario Carpenteri. That's Soupy, aka Nate Campbell. And welcome to episode 13?
14.
14, crap. 14 of All You Can Talk Sports. How you doing today, Nate?
I'm tired again. But I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. All right. I want to get to the first topic of the day. We got the MLB Awards.
Mm.
And first, before we get to the, well, you know what? Let's name the, let's name the Silver Sluggers and the Gold Glove Award winners.
Yeah,
You
because
want to
that
do
just
that?
happened.
Yeah, let's start with,
Yeah. Let me just open up the app real quick and now. All right. So we got our
yeah.
Silver Slug winners. The outfield for the National League: Juan Soto of the Nationals, Mookie Betts of the Dodgers, and Ronald Acuna from the Braves. The AL outfielder winners are Mike Trout from the Angels, Tio Sakar Hernandez. I definitely botched that. From the Blue Jays, and Jimenez from the White Sox. First base for National League, Freddie Freeman from the Braves, and then from the American League, um, we have Jose Abreu from the White Sox. Which by the way, they're the MVP finals. We'll get to that in a minute. Second base NL winner is Donovan Solano from the Giants. My bad. And from the AL, it's DJ LeMahieu from the Yankees. Shortstop from the American League is Tim Anderson from the White Sox, and the National League is Fernando Tatis Jr. from the Padres. We got third base from National League. We got Manny Machado from the Padres, and American League Jose Ramirez from the Indians, who are also our MVP finalists. Again, we'll get to that in a minute. Uh, as for catcher, we got American League Salvador Perez from the Royals, and in the National League we got Travis Giannard from the Braves, and our designated hitters from the National League Marcelo Ozuna from the Braves, and the American League Nelson Cruz from the Twins. So, Mario, what do you think?
Well, first I'll say this. I think the strongest position for the Silver Sluggers this year, I think the strongest position has to go to the shortstops. I think Tim Anderson and Fernando Tatis Jr. I think they were breakout stars this year. And Tim Anderson, he's always been a star in my opinion. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is just doing stuff that like I couldn't even expect it this year from him.
He's got
Other,
Let me just give you a couple stats here. It's actually showing me some. Tim Anderson this year, he led one of the league's top offenses with a hitting average of .322, 10 home runs, 11 doubles, and with a scoring AL best 45 runs. As for Fernando Tatis Jr., he led all shortstops this year with 17 home runs, 45 RBIs, 50 runs this season. He had his average exit velocity was over 95 miles an hour. Hard hit balls was 102, and hard hit percentage was 62.2%. These kids are rising stars, man.
yeah, the third basemans too, Jose Ramirez and Manny Machado, they really stuck out to me too. Jose Ramirez, um he had a .993 OPS. He had 17 homers, 10 stolen bases, and if it was a regular season, a 162 game season, he would have been on pace to have 45 home runs and 27 steals. And then as for Machado, Machado hit 304 batting average, 16 homers, 47 RBI, six stolen bases, and 95 and .95 OPS while playing in all 60 games for the Padres. So yeah, the Padres are really making their mark on this list between Fernando Tatis
Yeah.
and
That
Manny Machado.
I I kind of seen them as a sleeper team this year, even though they didn't go too far in the playoffs. I mean, here's the thing. This thing with the Padres is they have a very young squad. And that's why they exited the playoffs so early against the Dodgers, because the Dodgers just had more veterans and more experienced players in opposed to the Padres. And I think in the years to come, if they continue to do what they do, the Padres are going to be a serious threat in the NL West. You know, we all know the big bad Dodgers, but I think that might not be the case in the next few years. I don't think the Dodgers are going to be the only threat in the NL West within the next few years. If I'm being honest.
I agree. Now let me ask you something. Do you think there's anybody on this list who may have underperformed? Because we can go on. This topic will take forever for us to like talk about who deserves it and who doesn't. But do you think there's anybody on this list that you think I don't want to say it doesn't deserve to be on here, but kind of underperformed to be on a Silver Sluggers list in context of hitting, not anything else?
Mm, From what I'm looking at, I don't see any. I don't see anything that really concerns me really from what I'm looking at right now. I don't really see anything underperforming. So it looks it's a pretty solid list if you ask me.
I'm gonna be honest. I think D or not. I think he might be the most underperforming one here. He has a 321 average, which is really good, and 919 OPS. But again, like 9 home runs, like 34 RBIs. To me, it's kind of underperforming
I agree.
for like a Silver Sluggers list
All
compared.
right. Hmm.
So, but other than that, I think, and same as other than that though, I mean, I think this list is pretty solid.
I agree. I agree. All right. Let's go to Gold Glove Award winners because we got a lot of those to talk about too. All right. First base for the American League, we got Evan White from the Mariners. We got National League winner Anthony Rizzo from the Cubs. Second base from American League, we got Cesar Hernandez. I just Phil
Cesar, Cesar
Cesar. Okay.
Hernandez.
Thank you. From the Indians. From the National League, we got Colton Wong from the Cardinals. Shortstop, we got from the AL, we got J.P. Crawford from the Mariners. As for the NL National League, we got Javier Baez from the Cubs. Third base from the American League, we got Isaiah Kinner Falifa. Did I say that right?
Kiner Falefa, I think it might be.
All right. He's from the Rangers. Um, and from National League, we got Nolan Arenado from the Rockies. As for left field, we got American League winner. We got Alice Gordon from the Royals. National League O'Neill, my bad. Tyler O'Neill, my bad. From the Cardinals. Center field from the American League, we got Luis Robert from the White Sox. And National League, we got Grissom from the Padres. And right field, we got from the American League, Joey Gallo from the Rangers, and National League, Mookie Betts from the Dodgers. And finally, got our catchers. Oh, not finally, because there's a pitchers list too. Catcher American League, Roberto Perez from the Indians. National League, Tucker Barnhart from the Reds. And pitching American League, Griffin Cannon from the Angels, and National League, Max Fried from the Braves. So, what do you think about this, Mario?
Well, I mean, some guys that like obviously deserve Gold Gloves. We expect them to get Gold Gloves like every year. Mookie Betts, I think Joey Gallo's up there. Um, Congrats to Alex Gordon. Remember, he's going to be he retired, so that's his last Gold Glove. I think he's at 8, yeah, in 4 consecutive Gold Gloves too. So, Nolan Arenado, we expect him to have Gold Gloves. Javier Baez is another one. Um, Anthony Rizzo.
Mhm.
So personally, those are the guys. Obviously, those guys deserve it. But I'm gonna turn to somebody who I think has been underrated this year. Colton Wong on the St. Louis Cardinals. He's been underrated,
He's a
in
free
my
agent.
opinion. Yeah, I think he's been underrated. He was a good and he was a good he was a big part of the reason why St. Louis had a lot of had success this year. He 30 years old. Obviously, he's going to be in the off season. I think he's an underrated pick in this off season.
Come to Boston.
Maybe we gonna have to see. But all right, I want to go to the people that I want to go to the awards that haven't been finalized yet, but they have finalists. So it's your pick, Nate. You want to start with Rookie of the Year, MVP, Manager of the Year?
Oh, um, let's start with manager of the years. Before I get to that, let me just roll this up real quick. All right. So what I got for managers of the years from the American League, we got Kevin Cash from the Rays, we got Charlie Montoyo from the Blue Jays, and Rick Renteria from the White Sox. As for National League Manager of the Year finalists, for the National League, we got Don Mattingly from the Marlins, David Ross from the Cubs, and Tingler from the Padres. What do you think about this, Mario?
I think Dave Roberts should have been on that National League's Manager of the Year list. I mean, let's be honest. I think he had the best team this year in baseball. Won the World Series. I'm gonna be honest. Like I get it. I get getting new people on this list, but like I think Dave Roberts should have been a nomination. I
See,
think
I
he should have been. I think he should have been nominated over Don Mattingly. To be honest with you.
See, I want to agree with you, but I can't, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Dave Roberts, we all know is a good manager. I mean, he deserves a manager of the year, but I think, especially with this wacky season, you know, Don Mattingly, he's been coaching the Marlins for a few years now, and the Marlins haven't really been anything special. And the fact that he was willing to get this team up and do what they had to do, get themselves to the playoffs. Some people can make an excuse. It's a 60 game season this year. But at the end of the day, like I've been saying this entire time, you got a job to do. You got to do it, and he did just that. He got his team to the playoffs. That was a team that wasn't even expected to do anything this year, and I think that deserves some sort of recognition. Same thing with Jace Tingler. I didn't expect much out of the Padres. I thought they'd be a sleeper team, but I was kind of like, maybe they won't do anything, and they did. David Ross for what he did. I did not think David Ross would be a good manager, given that it was his first year. But I'm like, give it a try, and this is what he did. Again, didn't do much in the playoffs, but he still got them to there, which is good. I personally think, as much as I want to agree with you with the Dave Roberts situation, I can't, because there was just more notable coaches out there that did something that they weren't expected to do, in my opinion. Dave Roberts is expected to take the Dodgers to the playoffs because of the team he has. The Marlins aren't expected to go to the playoffs every year because of the team they got. I mean, that's just how I see it anyway. You don't have to agree with me on that.
No, I'm gonna disagree with you. I understand where you're coming from. No, I understand where you're coming from. Obviously, there's guys who are shocking, basically shocking the MLB
Mm.
and everything like that. Like Don Mattingly, David Ross is one. But again, I think when you have Dave Roberts, honestly, and like this is the problem I have with a lot of lists because I feel like, especially like in a lot of sports, like NFL, I feel like Bill Belichick should be a Coach of the Year nomination every year for what he done. I
Mm.
feel like LeBron James should be a MVP nomination for what he's done every single year. And I get like it takes like a spot away, but in reality, it's whoever deserves the award. And I think Dave Roberts has proved time and time again why he deserves to be a Coach of the Year
Oh yeah, I agree. I just think
or
this year
Manager of
is a
the Year.
little
Excuse
different.
me. It's
Yeah,
baseball.
same thing. It's really the same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's tough because of the wacky season it was. I would love to see him as a manager of the year again, but I think there was just more, with the Marlins and Padres shocking the world, going back to the playoffs for the first time in like what, over 10 years. The Marlins haven't made the playoffs before this year. Last time they were in 2003, and ever since then they've been a rotting pit in Miami, and the Padres haven't been back before this year, 2006. This is the same situation with them, and I think, I don't know. It's going to be a different situation moving forward. I kind of expect more of the Padres now moving forward. As for the Marlins, the thing, it's tough with the Marlins because it's been a pattern with them. They win their first World Series, they have this super team, and then they break it up, and then they're bad for like the next 5 years. Then they bring back that super team, win the World Series again, and ever since then they haven't been that great. So maybe that pattern this time around will end, and they can work with what they got, build around what they already have. They got young talent, they can do so. Derek Jeter is one of their owners, so Derek Jeter is one of the greatest baseball players of our generation, maybe of all time, in my opinion. So I mean, the guy knows a thing or two about the game of baseball. I know you don't want him to win in sixth grade, but I think if he's smart about what he does, it might happen. I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
It could. It could, but I'm gonna say this. I think because of the short season, Don Mattingly is a manager of the year. I think if this season was an 162 game season, I don't think Don
I
Mattingly
don't I
gets a
don't think so either.
nomination.
I don't
I
think
don't
so
think
either.
I don't think Tingler gets a nomination.
I
I
don't think
think
so
Dave
either.
Roberts definitely gets that nomination because but because it's a short year, because managers are suddenly making, I don't want to say historic number. They're doing historic numbers because it's not that, but they're doing franchise numbers
They're
in
making
which,
impacts too.
yeah. So I can see it, but I'm gonna still say Dave Roberts, in
Mm,
my opinion, should have been the manager of the year. It goes to the best manager. That's what you're. It's not for the manager who's the most impactful. It's to the best manager, and I think Dave Roberts was the best manager this year.
I agree.
But talk about the American League, Nate, for the manager of the year. Who we got? Oh,
Who do I
you
got
already
win?
talked. Yeah, who do you got
Well,
winning that?
hmm, it's a good question. I'm gonna be honest. Hmm, as much as I want to say the Rays, it's between Charlie Montoyo and Rick Renteria. Actually, Maybe Charlie Montoya. I don't know. This one's more interesting to me than the National League because mm, the Rays made it all the way to the World Series, but the White Sox are another situation. They haven't been to the postseason since 2008 before this year. And with this young talent rising, it's the same situation with the Padres. If they're smart about it and they build up with this talent, you know, then they're gonna make an impact moving forward. Um, but Rick Renteria just got fired by the White Sox, so he's not gonna be a part of that impact moving forward. You know what I mean? So to be honest with you, I think it's going to be Kevin Cash for one reason because he beat the bad Yankees. He helped his Rays beat that Yankees team that was favored to win the World Series this year. I remember the Yankees were a heavy favorite in the American League. So I think it's going to be Kevin Cash, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Despite the dumb mistake that he made in the World Series, I think it's going to be him.
I agree. But then but you know what? Like that mistake, honestly, like it's a bad mistake. Don't get me wrong, and it shouldn't be justified. But the thing is, like Kevin Cash, honestly, was the best manager in the American League. Again, and I'm not always going to say that. I'm not going to always say the manager of the year should go to whoever makes the finals because that's not true. But what I will say is this: I think he should win manager of the year despite that call because, and this is what's tough. They have a whole good. People always a lot of people want to focus on one bad thing that you do opposed to all the good things that you do. For instance, Chris Webber, back when he was in college, the basketball player, he was part of Michigan, that famous Fab Five team, and they went to the finals, and he called a timeout when there were no times left, and they got a tech, and they ended up losing the NCAA championship to the Tar Heels that year. But Chris Webber was the best player on that Michigan team. But because he did so many great things throughout the season, but because of that one bad mistake, that's what he's known for right there.
Right. See,
So,
I'll say this. I think Kevin Cash is going to win it, not only because he beat the Yankees, but the Rays in general. If you look at that Rays team, and I actually
that was a
think,
team. I'm gonna be honest.
Hold on a second. Let me finish. There was something that I seen on Facebook when the Rays beat the Yankees. This is something that surprised me because you got to remember the Rays are a very, very low budget team. They don't have a lot of money to work with. So the fact that they went to the World Series with that kind of budget is really impressive. Here it is. Garrett Cole makes more money than the entire Tampa Bay starting lineup combined. His adjusted salary this year, ready, was $13.33 million. And the 2020 adjusted salaries for the Rays for the entire starting lineup that game was $8.11 million. That goes to show you they don't have a lot of money to work with. But the fact that they was willing to go all out and do something like this moving forward, I gotta be honest with you, man. I think this year. Sorry about that. Can you hear me? I accidentally hit a button. But anyway, can you hear me?
You froze there.
Yeah, because I accidentally hit the airplane mode button. I don't even know why I did that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like low budget teams aren't expected to do much, but the fact that he was able to take a small budget team to the World Series is pretty impressive in my eyes. Because with the very low expectations teams like the Rays have, and I think one thing that their team needs to do, and I'm talking to the owner. I forgot his name, but the owner needs to stop being a cheap ass. Sell out. I know it's tough, but I mean, try and get more talent and build up with what you got. I mean, I say this because they have a very young squad, and the fact that they almost beat the big bad Dodgers says something. I mean, I can see this team contending in sometime soon in the future. Your thoughts?
I agree with everything you said, but the one point I was going to get to with the Rays, and it's the thing you got to with every other manager that you said could have that you disagreed with Dave Roberts.
Mhm.
It's because Kevin Cash has exactly what me and you talked about with Dave Roberts combined. He made it to the World Series, and he did things that were unexpected. Nobody really expected the Rays to go all the way. Unless you were like a diehard Rays fan, then you did. But like we expected Dodgers and Yankees, or we expected like
Astros and Yankees, or
Astros,
Braves and Dodgers,
Astros and
Braves and
Dodgers.
Yankees and whatnot.
Yeah, we didn't expect the Rays. We didn't expect the Rays to go to the World Series, and because they did that, I think Kevin Cash deserves a lot of credit, especially the fact that he didn't make a playoff appearance last year.
Oh, he
So
did. He
there's
did.
that.
He did last year.
Oh,
But
that's right.
he was
He
yeah.
lost in the wild card, right?
No,
Oh, oh, my
the
bad. He lost to
ALDS,
the
ALDS,
yeah. He
yeah.
lost to the Astros.
Mhm.
They lost to the Astros, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I remember. Okay, so because going from losing to the ALDS to almost winning the World Series, I think Kevin Cash deserves a lot of credit there.
I
He's
think
done
so
so
too.
many good things this whole season, but because of that one mistake, people aren't going to give him the credit he deserves. That's what. See,
Um,
everybody makes mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a whole season where you drop, if you have a whole season where you don't let go of a run, and then in the last game you let go of the biggest run, they're gonna remember you for that biggest run. Like it happens so many times in sports. The Vikings kicker back in '98 who missed that field goal didn't miss a kick in 2 years,
mm,
but because of that one missed kick, that's what he's known for.
yeah,
So I think Kevin Cash, regardless of the mistake that he made, should definitely win Manager of the Year for the
I
AL.
agree. I agree.
All
Yeah,
right,
we got that.
what category you want to go to next, Nate?
Let's go to Rookie of the Year awards. All right,
All
so
right,
the list you sent me, the top one is American League, right?
top one is American League. Yes,
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. All right, so the the Rookie of the Years for the American League, we got Christian Javier. It's interesting to see a pitcher on here. I
it
never
is.
thought I'd see that again.
There's a pitcher nominated in both categories, in both
Mm,
NL and AL.
that's interesting. All right, so we got Christian Javier with an ERA of 3.48, um, a 5-2 win loss record, a WAR of 1.3, and 54 strikeouts. We got Kyle Lewis with a batting average of .262, 11 home runs, 28 RBIs, 37 runs, 64 hits, and Luis Robert, who won a Gold Glove. Yeah, he won a Gold Glove. He had a batting average of .233, also 11 home runs, 31 RBIs, 33 runs, and 47 hits. What do you think, Mario? Who do you think is gonna win this?
I think Kyle Lewis, and the way I like to do it is it's hard to compare a batter and a pitcher to see who had better stats. But the way I like to do this is this. So first, you compare the two batters and what they
Mhm.
did. Kyle Lewis and Luis Roberts. Okay, 262 batting average beats 233. Okay, they tie for 11 home runs. Luis Roberts beats him by 3 RBIs, 31-28. Okay, give him that. Runs. Kyle Lewis has 37 opposed to his 33, and then hits. Kyle Lewis beats his hits 54 to 47. So I think he deserves it over Luis Roberts. Then you got to go. Now it's between Kyle Lewis and Christian Javier. And when you look at it, you look at what is more impressive by a rookie. And honestly, in my opinion, I think Kyle Lewis's 11 home runs, 54 hits, which is two of his best stats. I think that beats Javier's two best stats, which is 54 strikeouts and a 3.48 ERA. And so, don't get me wrong, it's a close race. I think when it comes to those two right there, I think Luis Robert comes in third. I think it's a close race between Kyle Lewis and Christian Javier, but I'm gonna go Kyle Lewis.
I agree. See, and I agree with how you say that comparing batters and comparing pitchers is hard to do. Let me tell you why that
Right.
is. Because Clayton Kershaw won an NL MVP. I can't remember what. I think it was 2014. Justin Verlander did too, but he won an AL MVP. And they're both pitchers. And that confuses me because the Cy Young Award is basically the pitcher's MVP because their category is just completely different than opposed to the hitters and the fielders and all that. With that said, it's interesting to see. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be a finalist, but it's interesting because usually pitchers have their own category, the Cy Young. It's but
Right.
no credit to him, but it's interesting to see a pitcher on here.
Well, I'm gonna say
I
this:
think Kyle
Christian
Lewis.
Javier as a rookie, his stats for Cy Young, they're not, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
think it's a. He wouldn't win it.
oh
That's
yeah,
just
of
the thing.
course.
So, in my opinion, I think Kyle Lewis wins it. Now, I want to get to the National League Rookie of the Years real quick because the guy who I think is going to win National League Rookie of the Year is definitely a Cy Young winner, without a doubt. without a shadow of a doubt, he is a Cy Young winner. Okay,
Let's see
well,
this.
I'll name him. So we got. I'm probably gonna botch this, but I'm gonna try my best. We got Alec Bohm. I think it is something. I don't know. He's got a batting average of 338. He got 4 home runs, RBIs 23. He has 24 runs and he has 54 hits. Jake Cronenworth, he has a batting average of 285, 4 home runs, 20 RBIs, 36 runs, and 49 hits. And then we got Devin Williams, ERA .33, a 4-1 record, a WAR of 1.2, and 53 Ks. That right there, what I just read, he could be a
That's
He
some.
has to be. I think he should be a nominee for Cy Young. I know he's a rookie
I
and I get
agree.
it, but like you're 4-1, you have a .33 ERA. Unless he's a reliever. Unless he's a reliever, then I can see why. But even if he's a reliever, he should be in the topic for reliever of the year.
I
I think
agree.
he should get his own. I think he should get an individual pitching award because when do you hear about a guy, whether it's a reliever or a starter, who has a .33 ERA?
I
Do you,
mean, it's not. It's rare, but it can happen.
It can, right? But like, and especially in this short season, it probably would have been bigger. It probably would have been bigger if it was an 162 game season. But again, we're comparing it to what they have now, and I think, in my opinion, I think Devin Williams, the pitcher, is going to should win Rookie of the Year.
I agree.
I think that second would be Alec. He has a good 338 batting average, but like 4 home runs too, and like 4 home runs is good, but like, I mean, other than that, I think Devin Williams should get. I think those two are the rookie. I think Kyle Lewis and I think Devin Williams should get Rookie of the Year.
I agree. I think that's very solid.
All right, Nate. Next
All
award
right,
list.
we got Cy Young Awards 2020. For the AL, we got Shane Bieber from the Indians. He actually really impressed me this year. He had a win. He had an 8-1 record, win loss, ERA of 1.63. That was first in the entire league, by the way.
Okay.
He had 122 Ks, which is pretty impressive for 60 games. You don't see that a lot.
Right.
Some players don't even hit some pitchers don't even hit 100 in 60 games, and that's just really that alone is really impressive. And he has a whip a walk hit per inning pitch of .87, which is really good. Um, our next one's Kenta Maeda from the Twins. He's got a win loss record of 6-1. His ERA is 2.7. It's not. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good either. He has
Just
eight.
think. I just want to cut you off for a second. Just think that he was part of that Red Sox trade, and the Twins had nothing to do with that, and they still got a better player than us.
That's what I'm saying, man. That trade will forever haunt me.
We couldn't have made an offer for Kenta Maeda, especially knowing that the pitchers that we have now, like 4 out of 5 of them, weren't even playing this year. We couldn't have got Kenta Maeda.
Yeah, dude. Like we
Like it was
have
gonna kill you.
like our three best starters either were injured or left. David Price went off to the Dodgers, and Chris Sale and Erod are like broken. And Nathan Eovaldi is our only best starter. Everybody else is just like Nathan Eovaldi can't do all of it by himself. But anyway, let's get back on track. He's got 80 strikeouts. Like I said, there's not a lot of pitchers that can even hit the 100 strikeout mark in 60 games because they don't pitch all 60 games. They only pitch like 10, 15 games out of those 60. And he has a whip of .75, so it's not bad, but it's not good either.
All
Um,
right. Third option.
and third option is Hyunjin Ryu, which kind of surprised me. Um, for the Blue Jays, he got traded by the Dodgers to the Blue Jays. His win loss record was 5-2. He has an ERA 2.69, 72 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 1.15, which really isn't that good. Now,
Right.
I think Shane Bieber.
I think it's yeah, Shane Bieber.
It's
It's
gonna be
clear.
Shane
Like I don't
Bieber.
think it's even close.
I don't think it's close either.
And you know what? Credit to Shane Bieber because a year where Trevor Bauer was gone, you know,
Yeah,
Shane Bieber was really that. You know what I'm saying?
the
Shane
only
Bieber was an upgrade from Trevor Bauer
and
when we didn't even expect there would be an upgrade from Trevor Bauer. But Shane Bieber, hey, gotta give credit to
and
Shane Bieber.
and Mike Clevenger got
Right.
traded to the Padres in the process, so that now their pitching staff really is kind of depleted. But Shane Bieber can be the ace of the future with that team. As for
Absolutely.
National League, Trevor Bauer leads this one for the Reds. Win-loss record of 5.4, ERA of 1.73. He has 100 strikeouts and a WHIP of 0.79. Yu Darvish from the Cubs has a win-loss record of 8-3, ERA of 2.01, 93 Ks, and a 0.96 WHIP average. And the last one is Jacob DeGrom with a win-loss 4.2, ERA of 2.38, 104 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 0.96. I think we know who's winning. I think Trevor Bauer might get this one.
I agree, but even that, I still think Shane Bauer is a better pitcher this year
Or
than
Shane Bieber.
I mean Shane Bieber is a better pitcher this year than Trevor Bauer. My bad, but but that's what I'm saying. Like it's hard because Trevor Bauer is a really good pitcher, and the fact that like when he left, you really didn't think there was going to be an upgrade. Then Shane Bieber comes and is that upgrade, and it was shocking.
Yeah, it
But
is.
hey, look. I think I mean, good luck to everybody who was like nominated in these categories so far that we mentioned. But honestly to me, I got my winners for those categories.
I got my winners too. We got the biggest and baddest awards of them all.
Sweet
The
do.
MVP. That's the last one we got. All right, so this is for the American League. We got Jose Abreu. He's he has a batting average of .317. He has 19 home runs, 60 RBIs, um 43 runs and 76 hits. DJ LeMahieu comes next. He's on the Yankees. By the way, Jose Abreu's on the White Sox. He has 3.364 batting average, 10 home runs, 27 RBIs. Wait, is that 27? Yeah.
Yeah.
41 runs and 71 hits. And Jose Ramirez on the excuse me, computer's going off again. We have Jose Ramirez on the Indians, who has a 292 batting average, a 17 home runs, 46 RBIs, 45 runs and 64 hits. This is definitely not like the Cy Young ones, to be honest with you.
No, but I'm gonna say this: like MLB MVPs really like unlike NFL, like NBA, like MVPs really don't matter off of like how far your team makes it. See, like in the NBA or the NFL, especially if your
That
team
actually
like
matters.
the past few years, like the team, like you know what I'm saying, like it's about but like because like and we know that it's about how far you actually made it, but in the MLB, it's not, and we know this because Mike Trout has won so many without going really that far in the playoffs, or not even going to the playoffs at all. So,
That's why I like it.
if we're going by that, we're going by those things. Jose Abreu, I think, is the best player out of those three.
I think Jose Abreu
He
is
is
too.
because like you look at it this way. When it comes to batting average, these are the five stats that I think that are most important when you determine an MVP when it comes to batters. You look at batting average. DJ Lemieux beats them by 364. Credit to him. I'm not gonna lie. Then Jose Abreu beats them 19 home runs compared to the 10 and the 17. Okay, blows them out the water with RBIs with 60 compared to DJ Lemieux's 27 and Jose Ramirez's 46. Then Jose Ramirez beats them in runs with 45 out of Jose Abreu's 43 and Lemieux's 41. And then lastly, Jose Abreu beats them with hits 76 compared to 71 and 64. So in my opinion, the stats besides average, the stats that he got beat out by, he didn't get beat out by a lot. You know,
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Jose Ramirez beat him by 2 hits, but then other than that, Jose Abreu beats him. I think Jose Abreu was the best player in the American League if we're going off of these three guys. You know, and I mean, if people are going to make the argument of how far your team makes, which in my opinion, I don't think that's a legitimate argument to determine an MVP, then they're probably going to go with DJ LeMahieu. But like, I think DJ LeMahieu, in my opinion, is probably the third guy on here. I think it comes down to Jose Abreu and Jose Ramirez, but I think Jose Abreu definitely beats him.
I think it's going to be Jose Abreu too. Um, yeah, I mean, credit to all three of them, but I think Jose Abreu is going to come out the winner. As for National League, we got Mookie Betts. Not a surprise to me. Kid plays like an MVP. He's got a 292 batting average, 16 home runs, 39 ribbies, 47 runs and 64 hits. You got Freddie Freeman from the Braves. You got a 3.41 batting average, 13 home runs, 53 ribbies, 51 runs and 73 hits. And Manny Machado from the Padres has a 304 batting average, 16 home runs, 47 ribbies, 44 runs, and 68 hits. Mario, it's between Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, but I think I got Freddie Freeman. Yeah, I got Freddie Freeman.
I agree. I
I
agree.
got
I
Freddie
think.
Freeman.
Well, I'm gonna go by this, Nate. Like, let me be like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with you that it's gonna be Freddie Freeman. I think second place goes to Machado.
I agree.
And the reason I don't think it's between Mookie and Freeman. I think it's between Freeman and Machado. But I think Freeman definitely beats it. Because, like, I mean, come on. 341 batting average. That's pretty good. It beats
But
it beats Mookie
304.
Betts' 292, and it beats Manny Machado's 304. The only stat that he gets beaten, in my opinion, is the only stat that he gets beaten is home runs, and
Yeah.
and he loses by 3 because Mookie and Machado had 16. Then we go to RBIs. He has 53 compared to Mookie Betts' 39 and 47. Again, that's the second time Machado has beaten Mookie. Then you go to RBIs. I mean, not RBIs. I'm sorry, runs. Then you go to runs. Freddie Freeman had 51 compared to Mookie Betts' 47 and 44. So Mookie Betts beats him there. So it's tied 2-2 for Mookie Betts and Machado. And then the last stat, Mookie Betts has 64. Freddie Freeman has 73. And Manny Machado has 68. Manny Machado beats Mookie Betts, but Freddie Freeman beats them both. So Freddie Freeman beats them both in every category except for one in the top 5 that actually matter. And Machado beats Mookie Betts in 3 categories compared to Mookie Betts' 2, if you want to compare both of them. But so I think it goes Freddie Freeman, Manny Machado, and Mookie Betts. And I like Mookie Betts better than both of them on that list.
Right.
But Mookie Betts, I think, is the third guy on this list. Same thing with DJ Lemieux. And I think, and personally, I don't think they're going to be the runner. I think they're either going to. It's sad to say, but I think DJ Lemieux and Mookie Betts are going to be the runner-up or the winner of one of these categories. And the reason why I say that is because they're the more well-known players on these lists than the other guys. And that's why I think this is going to be an unfair race, because I think Freddie Freeman deserves it. I think Jose Abreu deserves it, but I think one of them is going to get robbed.
I agree. I agree. I
And I
agree
don't
with
want that
everything
to
you said.
happen, but
I don't
like
want it to happen either.
most likely Mookie Betts is going to win an MVP. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
most likely Freddie most like you know what I'm saying, DJ Lemieux, they might put it over him, but I really think that if we're going by stats and we're going out by how they play, Jose Abreu and Freddie Freeman are the MVPs. And then if you want to compare who's a better MVP, I mean, 364 beats 3 I'm not 364. 341 beats 317. 19 home runs beats 13. 60 beats 53. Um 51 runs beats 43, and then 73 and 76 beats 73. I think Jose Abreu was the better player out of those 2 guys.
I agree. I agree. I think that's all the award winners, the finalists as well. Anything else you want to add to this?
No, nothing really I want to add to this.
All
Everything
right.
else has either been yet determined and like relievers of the year, but like other than that,
All
I
right.
think this is pretty good.
I think this is pretty good too. All right. That was a lot. That was a lot of awards to name out.
Yeah.
We'll hit you guys with the MVP winners, the Cy Young winner, the Manager of the Year winners, the Rookie of the Year winners. When that comes out. That said, we got you guys with an very interesting topic actually involving ESPN. They laid off 300 workers, 500 jobs worldwide eliminated, and left 200 jobs open. Mario, that is 10% employees that will be cut. This is quite interesting if you ask me.
You want to start this off for me?
I don't know what to say. I'll let you take the floor with it then.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, for us, like, what they said, let me go to the article real quick, but I want to talk about this. So, like, for a lot of people who are going to be working for ESPN, and I mean, me,
That's something
technically,
you and me want to do.
technically, I'm gonna be working it Saturday because I got to do a power up operator for my college's football game. But as for like, but to be honest with you, Nate, like, this is this is definitely something that we need to be concerned about, because
Because this is something
it's
that we want to do in the future.
right. And I mean to be honest with you, like, in the article I read, they said that on air jobs shouldn't be affected that much. But again, this is a problem. in my opinion.
This is a problem because considering that ESPN's a very big company, they're owned by Walt Disney. So that's how you
Absolutely.
know they're a very big company. They're owned by a multi-billion-dollar company. Maybe it, this is a very very big deal, and I can only imagine how like all the drama that's going in with the behind the scenes. What kind of jobs they lost, how many of them they're gonna revive, and all that kind of stuff. This is definitely something you and I should be concerned about, given that this is a place we want to work at in the future. We're going to college for journalism, broadcasting, and all that. With sports is our life, and that's just what we do. But this is interesting. It really, I don't know another word to use. It's just really interesting.
It is, and honestly, I think it doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't to
It
me
doesn't.
either.
How you gonna
How
lay
you
off
gonna lay off
300 people?
300 people and then leave 200 spots open? I don't
Yeah,
get
not even
that.
that, and not even that. Like here's how it sucks for ESPN, because the way it works is this: if a lot of employees are gonna get fired and they're not gonna, if ESPN is not gonna build a trustworthy relationship with some of these employees, they're still gonna have First Take. They're never gonna get rid of Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. They're still gonna have Get Up. They're never gonna get rid of them. They're
Yeah,
still gonna have
Sports Center.
yeah, they're not going to get rid of Scott Van Pelt and everybody like that, which they shouldn't because those guys have built a reputation. But what I'm saying, what I want to get to is this: there's a lot of employees that are going to be moving from ESPN to other sports organizations, and that's going
like
to be a
Fox,
problem for them.
like Fox Sports and NBC Sports, CBS
Right?
Sports is another one. I said NBC, right? Yeah, I said NBC. Yeah, but those are the
Yeah.
big
And
ones, just to name a few.
this is what I wanted to get to. This is from the chairman Jimmy Pitaro of ESPN. He said, in his words, and I quote, he said, in the short term, we enacted various steps like executive and talented salary reductions, furloughs and budget cuts, and we implemented innovative operations and productions approaches, all in an effort to weather the COVID storm. We have, however, reached an inflection point, and he said, and he ended up, and then he ended up going to say, placing resources in support of our direct to consumer business strategy, digital, and of course continued innovative television experiences is more critical than ever. However, building a successful future in a changing world means facing hard choices, making informed decisions about how and where we need to go. And as always, in the most efficient way possible, it is by far the most challenging job of any leadership team. Your thoughts on that? Oh, I want to also,
Uh,
before you mention your
uh,
thoughts, I just want to, they all the layoffs have come 3 years after ESPN cut about 250 jobs, including journalists and on-air talent. So that's when so 3 years ago they were cutting the jobs that we were going for. So again,
thi-
my question now is: are you going to go back to that? You're going to cut more journalists and on-air talent?
this is worrisome because they did this before not too long ago, and now they're doing it again. And if I were ESPN and if I were the ownership, now we're whatever the ranks are there, I'd be worried. I know this is a very very big company, and it's really difficult to take down a very big company, especially in the United States here. But I'd still be worried. I really would be because Fox Sports isn't too far behind you.
Right. And here's
NBC Sports isn't too far behind you. CBS Sports isn't that far behind you.
Turner Sports.
Turner Sports isn't that far behind you. I'd be worried if I were you because I think the
Yeah,
best runner up is
I
Fox
agree.
Sports, obviously, because Fox Sports is a very big company, if nothing just as big as ESPN. I'd be worried if I were them because this is a very big deal in my opinion. I think especially for us, because like we just mentioned, me and Mario are going to college for journalism, communication, broadcasting, and all that to actually in hopes of making it to ESPN. Well, for me, that is if baseball doesn't work out in
Right.
the long run. But this is a very worrisome situation, not just for people that work there, but and the people that did work there and got laid off, but it's also for those that want to go there. It's
Right.
gonna make them
And
look at it and
and like
be
I said,
like,
not
"Oh,
everybody. And
I'll
like I
go on."
said, not everybody. My bad. And like I said, not everybody wants to be an on-air talent. Not everybody wants to commentate. Not everybody wants to broadcast. Some people want to work the cameras for ESPN. Some people want to work the mics. Some people want to. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like this is this is very concerning. This here's what I'm reading right now, and this is the first time I'm reading it. The company said it has more than 5,000 employees, ready?
Mm,
Including about 4,000 of them in Bristol, where the headquarters are. That's the place right there I'd be concerned about, Bristol, Connecticut. Because if you have 4,000 people working in Bristol, most likely them 4,000 people are gonna be off jobs. Some of them
Bristol's not too far
4,000
away
people are
from
gonna
me.
end up losing jobs. That's what I'd be worried about right there. And this it doesn't make any sense to me, man. It doesn't.
It doesn't make any
What they're
sense to
doing,
me
it's not
either.
making any sense. They're moving to like more direct, like they're moving to ESPN Plus more directly to consumers, and that's a service that has 8.8.5 million subscribers. And honestly, ESPN Plus is just going to keep building in content. So you need to get some workers. You know what I'm saying? You need more workers
To
to build
build
that
that
content.
content. Yeah,
Right. So it doesn't make any sense. So in my opinion, if I'm looking at this right, on air talent is probably gonna stay. I don't think they're gonna be affected that much. They said it in this article that they're not gonna be affected too much, mostly because the fact that ESPN Plus is gonna keep building and building, and content is just gonna keep coming and coming. So it's not gonna. So I don't think So I don't think on air talent is gonna be affected by this. But other stuff regarding ESPN, whether it's journalists, whether it's writers, whether it's crew, those are the people that are probably going to be worried that are going to have to worry for their jobs, and it sucks, and it
yeah.
sucks. And there was a tweet from a guy who got laid off. His name is Bob Lay, or Bob Lee, Ley. He said, in his words, and I quote in his tweet, he said, "Trying to remain objective and unemotional as I learned of the ESPN team members laid off today. Not possible. Not as I see countless decades of journalistic experience and expertise jettisoned. Just when we need it most, enjoy the this stock price in your NFL football."
That's crazy.
It is. And you know what? Like,
Some
I
people
mean,
are just mad, and that's the sad part.
yeah, I mean, this was shocking to me when I heard about it, man, because I didn't expect. And somebody I was throwing a football around with a kid in college, and he reminded me. He said I was going for that, but they were doing a lot of layoffs, and I didn't at first I didn't like think too much of it. I was like, he must have read some like false article. I didn't say that to him, but I was like, he must have read some false article. Not reading about it. This is a problem.
Yeah, it is. It's a
But
very
hey,
big
you know
deal.
what? I hope not many people get their jobs cut. I don't want anybody to really get their jobs cut.
Yeah,
Especially in a job that we're trying to go for. I hope they can straighten this out by the time we're out of college, and are looking for we're looking for a job potentially at ESPN or potentially
Fox
But
Sports. Yeah,
again, as for us, as for me and you, if this continues, we just got to shift it. So instead of ESPN, Fox Sports, NBC
Fox Sports,
Sports, Turner
NBC,
Sports, whatever it
CBS.
is,
Yeah.
CBS Sports, exactly. So hey, all I know is ESPN got to fix this,
Yes, they
because what
do.
they're
This
doing
is
is making no sense in my opinion.
this is a very big deal, given that they're like they're probably the number one sports streaming
They
the
are the number one
sports
sports
yeah,
streaming thing. Come on, like,
yeah. So like you got to fix this, because you got to think Fox Sports is number two. If this continues, you're Fox Sports is going to take the throne that you've held for 25 plus years, and
right. This is what,
and that's a big deal.
and remember, this is I want to go to boxing for a little bit, because HBO used to be the place where that's where boxing was. It
And
used to
then
be
they
the
shut
place.
down HBO.
Right. They shut down
ESPN took over, right?
no,
No,
and then
no, no.
again, like, nobody really took over HBO.
No,
HBO's contract got terminated at the 30 40 plus years. Remember, HBO was the place where you had the Thriller in Manila. Like, you had Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman on HBO. When like, you know what I'm saying? You had all these boxing fights. So I don't care if you're ESPN. It don't matter. This will eventually lead to you probably having to sell out this company.
and that's not good either, especially considering the fact that they're owned by Walt Disney, which is another big company in the entire world. This is a big deal.
Right. And you know what? Like, I'm just gonna end it with, they gotta fix this
Yeah,
immediately, because I don't think laying off employees is the way to go. I get COVID is a tough time, but I don't. This is a world. This company is filled with money. This is not the way to go right here.
this is a world. This is a world class. This is a world class company. It is. This is something that's used all around the world. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think it's not only the people that run ESPN that need to worry about this. I think Walt Disney needs to the people that run Walt Disney need to worry about this too. Because if you think about it, with all the things that Walt Disney owns, they own Lucasfilm, they own Marvel, they own Pixar Animation Studios, they own ESPN. ESPN's the biggest one on despite Marvel and Lucasfilm, their ESPN's the biggest one.
Right.
And
Well,
if
I'll
they
say
lose
this.
that, if they lose
I'll,
ESPN, that's gonna hit them hard.
absolutely. Well, I'll say this. This decision was made by not Walt Disney, like the company
Yeah,
itself, but
right,
ESPN.
right, yeah,
So within that company, as for like Lucasfilms and everything else, because Disney
Marvel,
basically owns like
yeah,
almost like excuse me, my throat's a little dry. They own like probably like almost 60% of what's on TV.
yeah,
So like so I don't know what's going on with them, but all I know is this is all to blame on ESPN. This is
absolutely.
terrible.
I think they need some help from Walt Disney as what I think of it, because I think this is a very serious situation. And if ESPN gets lost, Walt Disney's going to take a really big hit out of this.
I agree.
And Disney's getting in a lot right now, especially from the Marvel films. Lucasfilm with Star Wars, they're doing a lot right now, and even that's not enough. I mean, it is, but like ESPN also contributes highly to that with the NFL and the NBA, MLB. It's gonna take a huge hit if something really bad happens to ESPN. It's something I don't want to see either.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just gonna end it on that.
Yeah.
But you know what? While we're on bad news, let's just add more bad news to it. Because like I mean, like I just want to save the good news to the end.
Hmm.
I just want to save something to look forward to at the end. So let's go to let's talk about COVID between the Chris Jones and between the San Francisco 49ers. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the Chiefs first, only because they have one player.
All right, yeah. So Chris Jones, he's on the COVID-19 list. He was not tested positive, but he was in close contact with someone who was positive, and he is questionable for Sunday's game. So what do you think, Nate? Does this have how big of a oh my God, how big of an effect do you think this has on the Kansas City Chiefs if Chris Jones cannot play?
Well, I can't remember if he's a starter or if he's a
He's
backup.
definitely a start. He's one of the
He's
best
definitely a
defensive
starter.
line. He's one of the best defensive linemen in
He's
the
a
league.
starter. All right, I thought so. I don't really watch the Chiefs that much, so I don't really know that team that well. So my bad. Um, I mean, if he's one of the best defensive players in the league, then I think this is going to be a big deal. Um, the Chiefs defense. Everybody likes to hype up the Chiefs defense, but if you really think about it, if you really look deep into the Chiefs defense, they're not as good as you think they are. And especially with Chris Jones being questionable. Again, we don't know if he's going to play or not. There have been some players that have been questionable and they still end up playing anyway. So we don't, the odds of him not playing are a little low. He might end up playing on Sunday against the Panthers. God, I hope not, because we need to win that game. But no, anyway, but if they do, if he does play, obviously their defense is going to be strengthened. If not, that's going to be a big deal defensively, because the Chiefs' defense, I mean, it's good. I'm not going to say it's the worst in the world, but it's not as good as everybody says it is. I think a lot of people tend to overhype the Chiefs' defense a lot. I don't think, me personally, I don't think it's as good. It was even the same case last year. That defense was not as good as everybody says it was. And it's the same case moving into this year, despite their 7-1 record. I just don't think that their defense is as good as everybody says it is. But I think with Chris Jones, with the possibility of Chris Jones being out, that could be a big deal. All right, not even could be. It is a big deal.
I'll say, let me say this. So Chiefs defense has really improved since last year. They've really
Right.
improved. Like so,
They're still not top tier though,
they've
like
improved. They've
Steelers.
improved like week after week. So with that being said, though, Chris Jones was their best defensive player when their defense was really nothing. When it was just, but I'm gonna be honest with you, this has an impact on the team. It does, but not a big one, I don't think. And because you still have that insane offense that you got to deal with,
Yeah.
and Chris Jones is one of the best defensive players in the league, probably on the Chiefs. But I truly believe that this Chiefs offense has enough to beat the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? And their defense is good. Their defense is obviously improving. This is obviously a downgrade, but I still think the Chiefs win with or without Chris Jones. With that being said, I do hope Chris Jones, wasn't positive or anything like that. We
Me
always
either.
like, what I'm saying? I'm always positive with people, whether it's
Absolutely.
rivals or not, but like whether it's my team or not. But Chris Jones with or without him being on the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs don't win. Unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, but it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
just be prepared for me to start crying because we're gonna lose. All right.
All right.
Anyway, we got another COVID thing with the 49ers, man. These guys just cannot get a break. We talked about Kendrick Bourne last episode, but there's three more, and I actually got the report like an hour after we stopped recording yesterday, and we got Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel who got added to the COVID list. I honestly, Mario,
This is a big impact.
this is a big impact. I
These are
mean,
probably
the Niners are already having really
these are the
bad
last guys
issues.
I think you would have wanted to be out. Trent Williams, who is honestly a really good offensive lineman,
Yeah,
he really is. Brandon Ayuk, who is one of the rising rookies, I think he's top 3 of these rookie wide receivers coming out of this draft, right, so far. And Deebo Samuel is obviously a key wide receiver to this team. And then Kendrick Bourne is another one. You're losing 3 wide receivers to COVID, plus an offensive lineman. And you're in a game where you got to face the Green Bay Packers, who even though they lost, they're still a 6-2 team. Plus, you're without Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle. This is a problem.
this is
This
an
is what I
issue.
call a big impact right here. Not Chris Jones, because at least you still have Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Tyrann Mathieu, um, I think Eric Berry's still there. I'm not too sure, but like, I could be wrong about that, but whatever. Um, you still have a lot of players in the Chiefs. You lost probably your whole offense right here.
You lost your entire team basically,
I'm not
and
gonna say entire. I'm gonna say your
and
offense right here.
this is what I was saying last episode as well. Was it in the last? Yeah, it was. I think, and this is the same issue they had 2 years ago. The 49ers. They didn't make the playoffs because of their injuries. Everybody was injured, and it's happening again. It's happening again. It's sad to see, but
Yeah, because
this
this is a very
team,
talented team. Even
this
2 years ago, when they were even 2 years ago, they were still a talented team, and they could have easily made a playoff. They could have easily made a playoff run if they were healthy, but because they weren't, this is what happened.
this is what's going to end up happening as well. I can't say it's their fault because
No,
it's been happening to them all year, so it's not their fault.
no, it's just
Yeah,
bad luck. What are you gonna do?
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I
again, continue.
I hope they get better. You
That's
know,
exactly what I
I
was
do
gonna
hope
say.
they get better. I hope they don't have COVID, and I hope that they're willing to play. Speaking of the 49ers, we got our final topic of the day. We got a Thursday night football preview, Mario. Give it to me. We got the Packers and the 49ers.
Yeah,
I can't. I honestly, let me just give you some stats real quick. We got offense. We got the Packers. They're 15th in offense. The 49ers are fifth. As for defense, Green Bay's eighth, San Francisco's 10th. Passing Green Bay is 14th, San Francisco's ninth. Rushing Green Bay's 12th, San Francisco's seventh. Uh, PPG Green Bay is 31.3, San Francisco's 26. Um, I don't think
this is
that's good. I don't.
NFL's. This is NFL stats. Honestly, we're going. This is league ranking NFL stats right
Mhm.
here. I'm not
Yeah,
lying to you. You can go check it out yourself. This is what we put down. So we're gonna go
honestly,
by. This is what we got to go by. But I don't know how they came up with these stats, to be honest.
I don't know either. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the stats are gonna matter. I think the Packers win this game.
I think it's 31-13 Packers.
I think the Packers win this game, especially when you got Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, who was the other one again?
George
Brendan
Kittle's
Ayuk,
out.
George Kittle, Brendan Ayuk, Jimmy Garoppolo,
Tevin Coleman
Kevin
and safety
Coleman.
Tart.
You got your entire team is gone. I wouldn't say entire team. Most of the team is just gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Jimmy G's probably not even gonna play again this year.
right. And I'm gonna say this. Look, I'm gonna say this. Nick Mullins. See, I don't. Here's the thing. Nick Mullins has done his stats for how long he's played is kind of very similar this year to Jimmy Garoppolo's. So Jimmy Garoppolo here is not the big loss in my opinion. He's
Yeah,
really not, because Nick Mullins has
but I
been
think,
producing
in
decent
my
stats.
opinion, I think especially coming off last year's Super Bowl run, he's got, especially, we talked about it these days. The quarterback gets a lot of praise, and I think that's why the momentum shifts down when Jimmy G is out.
Right. But here's the problem with what Nick Mullins has. There's no George Kittle. There's no Deebo Samuel. There's no Brandon Ayuk.
There's no Trent
There's no Trent
Williams,
Williams to block you. There's no Kevin Coleman to run. You're basically working with a second string offense right here.
C team, maybe even a C team.
This is if the Niners are gonna win, And hey, I expected the Buccaneers to blow out the Giants, but that didn't happen. So,
That didn't happen.
weird stuff could happen. But if the Niners gonna win, this is gonna come down to defense. Their defense has to show up. Whatever is on that defense, and this is like a second string defense too. Their defense has to show up, and it's gonna be really hard for that defense to show up against Aaron Rodgers because I guarantee you, man, Green Bay is not gonna have the game in Minnesota like they're gonna have today. They can't. They can't afford it.
They can't, because if
If
they
they
lose,
do, then I'm very concerned for Green Bay. Then, if that's the case,
I agree, because here's the thing with Green Bay. They're 5-2. They're one of the they're one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year. Some people
right?
argue he's ahead of Russell Wilson, the Seahawks, and Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
I don't
But
agree with that, but all
I
right.
don't agree with that either, to be honest. I think in my opinion, I think it's
Well,
going to be
Seahawks
Russell
wise, I
Wilson.
don't
But
agree
like
with it.
I think the Seahawks might go to Super Bowl. We're not going to talk about that right now. We'll
Yeah,
wait
it's
till the
not the
time is
topic
right.
right now.
But they're a favorite to win the Super Bowl. They have high offensive talent. And in the beginning of the year, I praised them a little bit because last year they went 13-3. Yeah, fine, but a lot of the games they played were really ugly played football games. I'm being honest with you. But they made the playoffs, so I'll give them the credit for that. But they kind of eliminated the ugliness of some plays that they've made, and I give them credit for that. But now they're starting to return to that, the mistakes that they've made last year,
Right.
offensively and defensively. And I think, if I'm being honest with you, Drew, I think the Buccaneers exposed them. I think Tom Brady and the Bucks just completely exposed Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I think
Can you hear me?
I think oh yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah, I think after that blowout loss to the Buccaneers, I think the Packers finally got exposed, and I think that's a problem. Well, actually, I won't think it's a problem unless if they lose to San Francisco. That is unless. But I
Right.
still think, yeah, after losing to the Vikings, I think they cannot lose this game. They really
Right.
can't.
I'll say this though, Green Bay, they got a couple of injuries themselves. Kevin King, the corner, he's out. And then David Bakhtiari, their best offensive lineman, he's out, which I think is a big loss for them too. But Aaron Jones will play this game, and that was something that was very questionable for this game, but Aaron Jones will play.
Time to put them on my fantasy.
Yeah. So with that being said, even with that, I still got Green Bay. I think Green Bay is going to win 31-13, in my opinion. That's what I think the final score is going to be. 31-13 Green Bay. And if it's not, then there's a lot of concerns for Green Bay.
I think it's going to be 34-14.
All right. Anything else you want to add to this topic or any other topic
Um,
today?
no, I think we got everything.
All right. That has been episode 13, right?
14.
14. Oh my God. This has been episode 14. I'm M-Carp, aka Mario Carpentier. That's your boy Soupy, aka Nate Campbell. And we will see you for episode 15 tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.